I agree, sir. The other officials on the match committee and I have decided to make it the most sense for you to have an outing together instead. Supervised, of course, by an official, as there are communications for the other matches. Of course. Out of the corner of my eye, I see my father standing in the door of his room watching over me. I'm glad he's there, even though the idea of spending time with Xander isn't at all new or scary. The idea of an official at the meeting feels a little strange. I hope it isn't the official from the green space, I think suddenly. Excellent. You'll be eating outside of your home tomorrow night. Xander and the official assigned to your match will pick you up at your regular mealtime. I'll be ready. The official signs off, the port beeping, indicating that we have another call waiting. We're popular this evening, I say to my father. I'm glad the distraction is so that we don't have to talk about my outing with Xander. My father already looks hopeful and hurries to stand next to me. It is my mother, Cassia. Can I speak with your father alone for a few minutes? He asked me after we exchanged hellos. I don't have much time to talk tonight. I have something I need to tell him. She looks tired and still wears her uniform and insignia from work. Of course, I say. A knock sounds on the door and I go to answer it. It's Xander. We still have a few minutes before curfew, he says. Do you want to come to talk on my steps with me? Of course. I close the door behind me and go outside. The porch light shines bright above us. We are full view of the world, or at least the world of Maple Tree Borough. As we sit down on the cement steps side by side, I feel good to be with Xander. In a different way, I feel good to be with Kai. Still, being with Kai, being with Xander, both things feel like standing in the light. Different types of light, but neither feels dark. It sounds like the two of us are having an outing tomorrow night, Xander says. 3 of us, I say. He looks puzzled, but I add, don't forget the official. He groans. Right? How could I forget? I wish we could go alone. Me too. Neither of us say anything for a moment. Then wind sails along the streets, ruffling the leaves of the maple tree. In the evening light, the leaves look silvery gray. Their colors are gone, struck away from now by the night. I think of the night I sat with grandfather and the same thing about thinking the old desire of colorblindness eliminates generations ago, and how the world might have looked to those people. Do you ever daydream? Xander asked me. All the time. Did you ever daydream about your match? Before the banquet, I mean? Sometimes, I say. I stop watching the play of the wind, the leaves, and the maple tree, and glance at Xander. I should have looked at Xander before I answered. It's too late now. I know I can tell by his eyes that my answer wasn't what he hoped. That by saying I did, I closed the door instead of opening it. Perhaps Xander dreamed about me, and I wanted to know if I dreamed about him. Perhaps he has moments of uncertainty, as I do, and needs me to tell him that I feel sure about the match. The problem with being the uncommon match, we know each other too well. We feel the uncertainties in our touch, see them in each other's eyes. We don't work them out on our own miles away from each other the way other matches do. They don't see the day-to-day we do. Still, we are matched, and deep understanding runs through us even in the midst of misunderstanding. Xander reaches for my hand, and I lace my fingers with his. This is the known. This is good. When I think about sitting on the porch with him on that other nights of our lives we've been given, I can picture it easily and happily. I want Xander to kiss me again. It's late evening and there's even a new rose smell in the air. The way there was for our first kiss. I want him to kiss me again, so that I know that what I feel for him is real, and if it's more or less real than Kai's hands brushing mine on the top of the little hill. Down the street, the last air train from the city sighs into the station. A few moments later, we see the figures of late workers hurrying down the street to get back to their houses before curfew. Xander stands up. I better get back. I'll see you tomorrow at school. I'll see you tomorrow, I say. He squeezes my hand and joins others on the sidewalk walking towards home. I don't go inside. I watch the figures and wave to a few of them. I know who's waiting for. Just when I think I won't see him, Kai pauses in front of my house, almost before he stopped. I walk down the steps and over to talk to him. I've been meaning to do this for the last few days, Kai says. At first I think he's reaching for my hand, but my heart pauses. Then I see he's holding something out. One of the brown paper envelopes that people who work in offices sometimes use. He must have gotten it from his father. I realize right away my compact might be inside, so I reach to take the envelope from him. Our hands do not touch, and I find myself wishing they had. What's wrong with me? I pause before I don't know what to call these cases that hold spinning arrows. I know, Kai smiles at me. The moon hanging heavy over the low in the sky near the horizon, and the harvest yellow slice of the melon we get to eat during the autumn holidays. The moonlight brightens Kai's face a little, but his smile does even more. It's inside. I gesture behind me, at the steps at the lighted porch. If you want to stay here, I can run in and get it. That's all right, Kai says. I can wait. You can give it to me later. His voice sounds quiet, almost shy. I want you to have a chance to look at it. I wonder what the color in his eyes are right now. Do they reflect the black of the night or the light of the moon? I move closer to try and see, but as I do, the almost curfew bell rings down the street, and we both jump. I'll see you tomorrow, Kai says, and turns to leave. I'll see you then. I have 5 more minutes before I have to go inside, so I stay out and I do not move. I watch him all the way down the street, and then I look at the moon and the sky and close my eyes. In my mind, all these words I read earlier. 2 lives. Ever since the day, the mistakes with the match, I've never been known which life is my true one. Even with the reassurance of the official the day at the green space, I think part of me hasn't felt at peace. It is as though I saw for the first time that life could branch into different paths, take different directions. Back inside the house, I tip my compact down out of the envelope and take Kai's artifact from the hiding place deep in the pocket of one of my extra sets of plain clothes, which I place them side by side. It's easy to tell the difference between the 2 golden circles. The surface of Kai's artifact is plain, scratched. The compact shines brighter and its engraved letters catch my eye. On a whim, I pick the artifact and twist the base. Look inside. I know Kai saw me reading the poem in the forest. Did he also see me open the compact? What if Kai left a message for me? Nothing. I put the away on its shelf. I decide to keep the envelope and put Kai's artifact inside before it's back in the pocket of my extra plain clothes for safekeeping. But before I do, I open the case and watch the spinning arrow. It settles on a point, but still spins, wondering where to go.